Now moving on to percentages. Let's look at an investment. So let's say that we have a capital investment of $4,250. Capital just means the amount of money. Okay, so the capital of $4,250. It is invested at 6% interest per year, sometimes called per annum. How much is this worth after, and we'll do 1 year and 2 years. So we've got an investment of money called the capital, 4,250. We're investing at 6% interest per year. We want to know how much it's worth after 1 year and after 2 years. Now, it doesn't say about drawing any money out, so we would just keep the money in the bank and it will grow and grow. So I'm going to show you two methods. So this is going to be method number 1. Method 1. And this is using proportionality grids. Now, you should know that if we have 100% and we are adding interest to it, so we're adding 6%, at the end of the year, we will get 106% of what we started with. The 100% is what we started with, and that was $4,250. Okay, and we don't know what we've got here at the end. I'm going to call that X. So using my proportionality grid, like this, my 100%, what I started with, is 4,250. I finish with 106%, and I'm going to call that value X. So as you know by now, to work out X, I do these two multiplied, divided by this one. So I'm going to do X is equal to 4,250 multiplied by 106 divided by 100. I put that into a calculator, and I will get the answer of $4,505 at the end of year 1. So this is year 1. Now the question says also how much is after the year 2. Now this is where people quite often make a mistake, but look at it carefully. At the end of year 1, we have this amount. So this is our new 100%. So in my next proportionality grid, what I will do 100%, but now I'm starting the year with this new amount of money, so it's 4,505. I'm still adding on 6%, so I'm still adding on, I still want 106% of the 4,005. I'll call this Y. So Y will be equal to, again, these two multiplied together, divided by this. So 4,505 multiplied by 106, divided by 100. Put that into a calculator, and Y will turn out to be, in terms of dollars, $4,775.30. The key thing to notice here is that working out the first year, I think, is fairly straightforward. As long as you know you've added on 6%, you've got 106%. That's what you're trying to find, so that's your X. The 100% is what you started with. But at the end of the first year, that now becomes the 100% for the start of year 2. And then you work it through. Now an alternative method, same thing again. We know we're going to have 100% plus 6%, which is 106%. And what is that as a decimal? That is equal to 1.06. So that's my decimal multiplier. What I can do now is say for year 1, I do my capital investment, so 4,250, I multiply by 1.06, I get an answer of 4,505, straight away to the answer. Then I take that value for year 2, 4,505, I multiply again by 1.06, and I get my answer of 4,775.30. It is your choice which method you choose. I don't mind which one we see. but make sure you understand what you are doing each time you're working these questions through. And again, you may want to put a sentence through as your answer to say the money earned after 2 years is 4,775.30, something of that nature. A quick look at proportionality graphs. Proportionality graphs have basically two properties. Number one, they start from 0, 0, and number two, they're a straight line. So start at the origin, and they are a straight line. Anything else, not a proportionality grid. So you need two reasons to say why something is. So if you look at this one, for example, here, it's a straight line, but it's not going from the origin. So that one doesn't work. This one here will go from the origin, but it's not a straight line, it's a curve. So that one is not as well. Let's do a third one. And let's do something like this. It's a straight line, but it's going down, and so on. So the only ones that are proportional is straight line from the origin. So the extra bit put into the test, as we discussed in our previous lesson, was about distance time graphs. There are bits of distance time graphs which are proportional. The first part is the bits that are proportional because starting from the origin is a straight line. The rest of it are not. Now we have this journey here is for a guy called Edward, who drove 80 miles from his home to London. So he's going from home to London. So his home would be here. London would be here, or here I should say. London is here. He stopped to visit his friend Nicola on the way. So he stopped where it is a horizontal line. That's this section here. So here he is stopped. And we can look at the graph in many different ways. We could say how long did it take him to get to his friend's house? Well, he started at 9, he got there at 10, so the time was 1 hour. We could say how long did he stop at his friend's house? Well, he went from 10 o'clock to 11:30, so that's 1.5 hours. How far does his friend live from his home? Well, his friend's house is here, so that's 40 miles from home. How far is London from his home? Well, that's 80 miles. That's also given to us in the question. We could say how far is his friend's house from London? Well, his friend's house is 40, London is 80, so his friend's house is also 40 miles away from London. We could ask for a question about speed. We could say, what is his average speed for the first part of the journey? First part of the journey, he travels 40 miles in 1 hour. So that's 40 miles in 1 hour. So that's 40 miles per hour. It might be what's the speed for the second part of the journey, or the last part of the journey here. And we would say he does 40 miles in 1.5 hours. So we would have to do 40 divided by 1.5. And that would give us an answer of 26.7. So 26.7 miles per hour. So he's going slower. You can tell he's going slower by the graph because this is not as steep as this part. So it's a shallower thing. Or we might say, what's the average speed for the whole journey? Now for that, we could look at it and go, well, we could put another line on to represent that if we wanted to. We could say, well, that's really the journey we're looking at. And what is the speed for that? Well, the speed will be distance divided by time. The distance is 80 miles. The time is between 9 and 1 o'clock. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. So 80 divided by 4, which is 20. So his average speed for the whole journey is only 20 miles per hour. And that's obviously a lot less than the others because he did spend 1.5 hours not moving. So bear that in mind. So these questions quite often involve speed, or how long did he spend at a place, how far is one place from another place, and so on. So make sure you're familiar with those. Now, to help you with the revision, you have all the notes you need on Google Classroom. So there are questions and answers to do with proportionality grids and proportionality questions that you can answer without the grid. There are proportionality graphs, percentage problems, make sure you can do those, and speed problems as well, including a whole bunch of speed, distance, time graphs. So everything you need is on Google Classroom. If you are stuck or need anything else, please just drop me a message by email or through Classroom itself. And good luck.